Goal scoring continues to be an issue in the playoffs right now. And, we're used to seeing this, I'd say, in the conference finals or the finals, but in the first round, there's a lot of low-scoring games. Now, this one wasn't without its chances and without its shots. This was kind of a fun game, and it's an odd-numbered game, and somehow Dallas, they get the victory. Now, the takeaway from this is now the Stars have a lead on Calgary, as the Flames have kind of let Dallas off the hook. Bishop's still not in the lineup. I don't think we've seen the best from the top guys in Dallas, but here we are. No Tkachuk for Calgary, and it has made a difference. No Matthew Tkachuk has made a difference for the Calgary Flames. He is a huge part of that offense, a huge part of their game, and not having him in the lineup has been just a gigantic difference maker. Hudobin started because Bishop was still declared unfit. And tough day for Rick Bowness. So I haven't talked about it in a video. I'll talk about it here, and this was on purpose. I'm not talking about it until now. Dale Hawerchuk passed away today. Lost his battle with stomach cancer. He, of course, was better, and then they came back with a terminal diagnosis in July. And I haven't really reported on it because, again, 2020's already been a giant kick below the belt. And I mention it here. Bowness, friends with Hawerchuk, close to Hawerchuk, and they showed him emotional before this game, and they showed him emotional well before this game started, looking up at the big screen in Edmonton where there was the image of Dale Hawerchuk, and so my condolences to him and to friends and family of Dale Hawerchuk, and it is it is an absolute tragic loss that the hockey world has suffered. Hawerchuk, very popular guy, and seeing that genuine emotion from Bowness, what I thought was, his players see this. His players will see what he's going through, and I'm not trying to diminish anything on the Calgary side. Hawerchuk was well known and popular all around, but I thought, could Dallas sort of rally today around their coach a little bit? And I think Bowness is starting to get the handle behind the bench. And they're starting to look like a Rick Bowness coach team. In that the defense is really good. The offense is spotty, but the defense is really solid. Johnny Gaudreau, it looked like he hit his arm on a hot hit from Foxy. He stays in the game. He was okay, but looked kind of shaky there on the bench. The shots were 4-1 for the Stars at 4 minutes. And this felt different. This felt different than games 1 or 2. Where Dallas is clearly deciding, okay, we have to take control of this series here. Alexiak takes a penalty. The Flames go to the power play. Really good shorthanded chance for the Stars. Solid penalty kill. Gurianov gets a fast break. He misses wide. But Dallas is getting chances. Anderson takes a penalty. The Stars go to the power play. And then Radulov takes a penalty not too long after, and we get a minute and 19 seconds of 4-on-4. So Radulov's name on the board. Again, Radulov, for me, kind of spotty. He's had his moments, but he's been kind of spotty since the return. The Stars pushing the play. The Flames were allowing way too many shots. And then during that 4-on-4, as the 4-on-4 had ended, and if this changes between when that happened during the game and now, whatever, Jamie Benn gets a goal from Sagan at 10:13, declared a shorthanded goal by 1 second. By 1 second. That as the penalty ended, and technically it was a 4 versus 5 situation for Dallas, it's a shorthanded goal for Jamie Benn. Now, whether or not they go back and change that, but it was a net crash by Benn as well. This is one of those plays where the guy's going to the net, realizes he's probably going to smash right into the crossbar, but whatever. That's Jamie Benn. That's the way he's paid to play. That's the way he's played throughout most of his career. And if that Jamie Benn is the one we're going to see going forward, Dallas has a very good chance coming out of this round, should they hold on and knock off the Calgary Flames. We may very well see Dallas go on a bit of a run here that would be unexpected. Of course, in the next round, they may very well end up against the Vegas Golden Knights, which, again, we'd see how that matchup goes, right? No shots by the Flames for over 8 minutes. Again, another game where one team just holds the other one off the shot clock for a long time. Crossbar then by Giordano. After the Stars take a too many men on the ice call, that's the third power play for the Flames in the first period. And that crossbar by Giordano is about as close as they get. Hudobin then stopped Lindholm at the end of the power play. So Hudobin, pretty solid game again for him. And I understand, anytime Hudobin plays like this, people are like, hey, maybe he gets a starter job somewhere next year. A, his height will work against him, and B, his age will work against him. He's older than people think. Hintz had a chance that was stopped. The Stars were pressing with 2 minutes left. But then the puck goes the other way. And Backlund gets a goal at 19:14, which was just over Hudobin's pad. They initially awarded 2 assists on this and took him off the board during the intermission. So, all right. Backlund unassisted. Crossbar then by Hintz before the end of the period. So Dallas, not overly discouraged by that tying goal. And I thought that was important, that, all right, you tied it. We're going to come right back down the ice and try to score this. So second period, Stars kept up the pressure early. The Flames' top line pressed at 5 minutes. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at Gaudreau and Monahan and, oh, we need to demote all these guys. I thought the first line for Calgary played well today. They just didn't get any goals. And I understand that's what they're being paid for. That's the expectation. But honestly, I thought, I thought they did well. They just couldn't get through. Both teams got away with some penalties on the same play, as clearly the referees decided starting the second period, we're going to swallow the whistles a bit and we're just going to let them play. We're starting to see more of that now as we get further into the playoffs. I would expect more of that in subsequent rounds. Better jump by the Flames in the second period than in the first, although they were tied. And where I got kind of nervous here was that, okay, so Dallas has outshot them by about 2-1, and it's a tie game. Flames can go back and steal this. So Como gets a chance that goes wide, some good back and forth play. Perry had a break that was stopped, and of course a scrum ensues. Corey Perry's in the middle. There's always going to be scrums that are ensuing there, and that might be where you miss Tkachuk. Tkachuk can kind of go out there and counter Perry. And while there are other players for Calgary that can do it, whether it's Lucic, Ronaldo, Matthew Tkachuk just brings this unique balance of the offense and that physicality that you don't get at the same level with Lucic, and definitely not with Ronaldo. Talbot stopped Benn. Chance on a break there for Jamie Benn, as again, he had a very good game. And this is Jamie Benn. This is the Jamie Benn who's been my favorite Dallas Star forever. And this is why I get frustrated when he's not playing well, because I know how good he can be. Flames handling the Stars much better in this period, and there was a last-minute 3-on-1 and some pressure by Dallas, but in general, I thought they did a better job of keeping the shots against down, even though by the end of the period, Dallas had almost managed as many shots as they did in the first. The defense for Calgary, troubling. And you could point at Hamonic not being in the lineup and say, well, if Hamonic was there, I don't know that Hamonic necessarily moves the bar that far. Odds are Hamonic probably leaves as a UFA in the offseason anyways. And I don't think it moves the bar that much if Hamonic's in here. So third period, early. 1 minute, 12 seconds in. Klingberg gets his first of the playoffs from Janmark. Nice to see Janmark get an assist, and nice to see Klingberg rewarded for his work. Janmark has been, kind of snake bit around the net, which for Janmark isn't that unusual. Klingberg, either he or Heiskanen are on the ice at almost all times for Dallas. They rely on their top four heavily, and Klingberg rewards them there. And I thought, they need to continue the push. They can't have any kind of a letdown now after going up 2-1. Hey, it's an odd-numbered game, so I had some concerns. Dickinson had a chance. The Flames were definitely on their heels. Johnny Gaudreau was then trying to force it through the Stars' defense. This is where you start noticing these things, where there's 4 green jerseys back and there's 1 white jersey, and he's trying to go through everybody, and that doesn't usually work out very well at all. And I thought that was a sign that the Flames were maybe starting to lose their focus a bit. But then Anderson hits the post. Hudobin covers after that. Then Lindholm hits a post as the Flames were pressuring. And the shots were 6-2 for the Flames 8.5 minutes into the third period. So 2 posts, a lot of chances. Don't get too frustrated. Then the puck goes the other way, and Sekera hits a post. So Sekera's like, oh, we're doing that. I can hit the post. That's right, I can do that. Bennett then had a shot that hit Hudobin in the chest. One of the best opportunities for Calgary in that third period. Bennett again, decent enough game. Kept off the score sheet, But that chance, I think he'd love to have that one to do over. And lazy icings. I want to talk just a little bit here about lazy icings. And here's what it is. And I've noticed this a lot, where you get the icing call, but the guy going back defensively to get the puck, he's not trying very hard to get it. And linesmen / referees are supposed to be able to go, technically it's an icing, but you really could have touched that. You really could have got back to get that before it crossed the goal line and wave off the icing. I don't think they're doing that enough. I think there's a lot of cases where I've been watching guys coming back, and this is on both teams. I'm not saying this for Calgary or for Dallas. This is on both teams. And I'm seeing this in a lot of series. I just wanted to mention it here because I noticed it in the third period, where it looks like these guys are skating in mud. And they're just, we're trying so hard. And you're watching this and going, they're not, though. And where normally you would see the officials calling it like, hey, you got to try a little harder to get back and prevent the icing, they're not. They're giving him the icing call. The Flames pressed with 6 minutes left. Benn with the steal all alone, and Giordano decides, I'm just going to bowling ball myself right into the net and knock it off. Now, the interesting thing is, of course, that causes the Stars' power play. I didn't think Benn was going to score there. I was honestly really surprised Giordano knocked the net off and got the penalty, because I thought Talbot had the angle, and by the time that net's knocked off, Benn's kind of behind the goal line. I didn't think Benn had anything to shoot at. So, decent power play. The Flames were doing some good shot blocking, but more importantly for Calgary, that takes 2 more minutes off the clock. Hudobin denied Gustafsson. The Flames pull the goaltender with 1 minute and 53 seconds left, and also take the timeout there as well. Mad scrambles at the Stars net, and honestly, Hudobin was probably a little bit lucky too. The puck kept hitting him, and also pretty smart at making sure that he was smothering the puck as often as possible, getting the face-offs, and the Stars did the best they could to make sure those face-offs didn't cost them in their own zone. Some more chances, another freeze with 46 seconds left. Like I said, the Flames played relatively well in this one. Then there's a penalty to Cogliano with 21.7 seconds left, which, again, Cogliano can't be taking that. But even with the 6-on-4, Calgary just could not get that one to go in the net. And your final score is 2-1 in favor of Dallas. So Dallas wins a squeaker. First time in the series they've won a squeaker. First time in the series they've won an odd-numbered game. The shots were in favor of Dallas in the first and the second, 14-7 and 12-7, but in the third, Calgary turned it on. Outshot them 15-6. Game 6, they need to find that mojo. Final shots, 32-29 in favor of Dallas. The hits were 45-41 in favor of Calgary. Power plays 0 for 4 for Calgary, 0 for 2 for Dallas. Talbot saves 30 out of 32, and Hudobin saves 28 out of 29. Hudobin's been a pretty well-kept secret in Dallas for a while. I think the secret's kind of sort of out. And we'll see whether or not he can get them that 6-game win, or if Calgary can force a Game 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.